Hey, Matt here. I've got a message I want to share with you, and it's in alignment with what we'll be exploring together when we finally get to catch up at the live global event that you've registered for. Now, this is an idea that comes from coaching that has the ability to really create a lot of emotional freedom inside our lives. I notice that a lot of people are emotionally up and down a lot. Some days they feel great, others they feel down, and they're not really sure exactly what is determining this. And so from a coaching point of view, we want to add a level of awareness for ourselves and for our clients. When we have awareness of what's actually causing it, then we can move to the next thing, which is acceptance of this. And then the last one is action. We can actually create some change, and we can choose to have a life that is more in alignment with our values, that creates closer relationships with ourselves and the people around us, and ultimately gives us more peace and more fulfillment. And that's what this framework does. So essentially the idea is that nothing has meaning except for the meaning that we give it. This is really important. Nothing has meaning but the meaning that we actually give to it. So we are in control of the meaning that we place on the events that are inside our life. Now, the meaning that we place on things then determines the emotions that we experience. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine who told me a story about a time he had a car accident. So this is a very, very close friend of mine, and it was Christmas Eve at a car park at a shopping center. Just imagine the late night shopping, the last minute shopping, so the car park is absolutely packed, and my friend was just going in to just pick up a couple of things, and he's driving through the car park, and another car reversed out and bumped into him. He wasn't paying attention. Now, inside a car park, they were driving pretty slow, tiny little bit of damage. The other driver of the car gets out of his car. He sees the accident, throws his hands up in the air, and he says, "Oh no, Christmas is ruined." That's the meaning that he placed on the car accident. Now, my friend has also done education as a coach, and so he knows the importance of being aware of how we frame an event. Now, the framing of an event that's just a coaching term for the meaning that we place on the things that happen. We are in charge of the meaning. It's up to us. They don't come with a meaning. We are choosing the meaning that we place on things. And so he got out of the car and he met this man who said, "Christmas is ruined." And he said, "Do you have insurance?" And he said, "Yeah, I've got insurance." And he said, "Look, how about we exchange details? This is a small accident. We can both take care of it. And Christmas hasn't even begun. So Christmas is not ruined at all. It hasn't even started. Let's take care of this together, and then you enjoy your Christmas and have an amazing time with your family." And as he was sharing this to the gentleman that was quite emotionally involved in the situation, you could see his shoulders started to drop, the color in his face changed, and the man started to calm down because he accepted a new meaning for a situation. Now, I'll give you another example. I went out for dinner one night with a friend, and they invited me out into the city for a certain Chinese food restaurant. And it was supposed to be a very renowned Chinese food restaurant, and we were looking forward to going there. And now I live in Melbourne, Australia, and so if you know Melbourne, Australia, there are restaurants open absolutely everywhere. And so we went into the city, and we finally got there, and the restaurant, for some reason, was closed. And the person who invited me did a very similar thing. They go, "Oh, the night is ruined." And I said, "Actually, it's not ruined. It's just that this restaurant is closed. How about we go for a walk and we'll find another one?" Now, this is quite simple, but it's also quite profound. Have a think about all the times that you had an emotional upheaval, and have a think about what was the meaning that you gave to the event. And if you don't like the emotion that you're experiencing as a result of that meaning, could you have chosen a different meaning to place on the event? And as a result of that different meaning, choose a different emotional experience. Ultimately, what this framework gives us is the ability to take responsibility for our emotional experience. This allows us to choose the way we show up. Now, of course, you're not going to get it right all the time. Just because I'm aware and I'm a coach doesn't mean I'm perfect, not even close. Every now and then I'm still going to forget this, and I'm going to drop back into my total humanness, and I'm going to whinge and complain and have a crappy day. But 9 times out of 10, I want to bring this into conscious thought and really choose the meaning that I'm placing on the events and decide, is this the experience I want to be having? If not, I'm going to change the meaning. I'm going to change my experience. I trust that this is something that's giving you some value, and I'd like to encourage you to implement it. Start using it straight away because it's a very, very powerful insight. And if you've loved this, you will love what's coming up at our live global event when we finally get to meet. I look forward to seeing you there. It's just around the corner.